Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the higher praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekah, Kodash. The honors to the elders, sing honors to the apostles, preaching and teaching us this word of truth. And with sincerity, as always, kind of got this lesson that I wanted to make about here's an entitled the light's greater than darkness. The subheading says the word of life. Verse 1 reads, "In the beginning the Word already existed, and the Word was with the power, and the Word was power. From the very beginning the Word was with the power. Through him the power made all things, not one thing in all creation was made without him. The Word was the source of life, and this life brought light to people." It says the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. So verse 5 is the point. It says the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. Yeah, so it says it right there. So it's basically self-explanatory right there. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. I'm going to read that again, once again. Self-explanatory. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. That's why I had to title this, the light's greater than darkness. Because the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can't put the light out. So let's go into this truth. And you really gotta think about that for a second. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness never puts it out. That's this truth that can't be put out. Yeah, this truth can't be put out, man. Back again at the top. This is the subheading is the word of life in John 1 and verse 1. In the beginning the word already existed, and this is the world. The word was with the power, and the word was power. From the very beginning the word was with the power. So basically saying all the way from the beginning the Lord made this truth. He created this truth, the laws. It burst straight through him. The power made all things. Not one thing in all creation was made without him. The Word was the source of life, and this life brought light to people. Okay, I'll come. Verse 5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. Yeah, so it says the word was the source of life. And that's through this truth, through this doctrine, because Yahweh by Shema Shah made the earth. When he made this earth, basically the Lord had the Lord had the life within him, within this doctrine, this truth, the commandments, and through that we also have the life that the Most High brought, the breath of life that the Most High brought, as he had this word in him, man. The Lord had the Lord had this word within him. And when he made this world and all the creatures and everything, and as we already know, the angels, as we already know, contrary to what these Christians teach, what these other Bible-believing groups teach, the angels made the earth. First the Yahushua was made. And Yahushua, with the help of those other creatures he created, helped make everything else. Which ultimately the angels and the elect that's today, whoever they are, they made the earth. They made everything. But the Most High gets the credit. When we read in Genesis 1, the Lord Yahweh gets the credit. But basically the angels made everything. They made everything. They made the elect, even made the angels that Michael, the Archangel, and Gabriel, and Uriel, and Raphael, and all the other 7 archangels that's not mentioned. The elect even made them first. So in a way, the elect is basically. Yeah, Yahushua is greater than the angels. Yahushua is great. This says Yahushua, he was made greater than the angels. And greater than, a bit higher than the angels. Verse 4, the word was the source of life, and the life brought light to people. 5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. They can't shut this word down, basically. That's also what you also going into that. Because of this word, what I mean by this word is truth. If this truth was in the heart of Yahweh when he made the earth, which technically once again the angels made the earth, but once, you know what I mean, the elect made the earth, if this word was in them when they made the earth, it just shows you how the origins of it, how powerful the origins of it is, and the authority of it is, and how much less are you even able to shut this word down. If it's like, if you basically, it's like saying, if you right here the scriptures is saying basically, when you, if you're going looking into it on the deeper level, it's basically saying like, if this word was in the heart of the creators when they made this earth, they ain't gonna change it. It's gonna be that powerful. So if you can't shut this word, it'll be like shutting down life. If you can shut down life, you can't even shut down life. You can't destroy life. If they could, they would do it already. But nobody can do that. You can't shut down life. So if you can't shut down life, you can't shut down this word. And even more so, you can't shut this word down. You're not gonna be. Yeah, it just won't happen. Hence why it says in verse 5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. And even when you, so just going into how these, any wicked force out there that wants to stop this word, the powerful forces that be, talking about the ones that rule the earth, they can't shut this earth down. They can't shut down this word. And it says the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. And right now this light is shining in the darkness. The darkness is here, America, and all the earth as well, where darkness is, where sin is, where lawlessness is, and the wicked is, that is bringing out his vibration out on the earth upon the masses of the rest of the blinded people. The light shines in the darkness, and the dark. So we're shining though, through this spirit and this power, through this truth, this word, the scriptures, the doctrine. It says, "And the darkness has never put it out." Yeah, when has the wicked ever shut down his word? They never really had. When you look at it and think about it, basically. And in the history, when you read the scriptures, the history of this word and the prophets, when have they really ever shut down the prophets and the messages down? They never really did. And they never really did. This truth always came out. They might have killed some prophets, but that didn't really shut down his word. That just means that they finished their mission. I mean, because Jeremiah was, we don't know what happened to Jeremiah ultimately. He was taken to Egypt, and then that's all we read about in the end of Jeremiah's book. Now, whether he was killed or whether he was lived to an old age, and especially if he was killed. Now, we don't really know about the end of Ezekiel, how he might have passed away, whether if it was old age or if he was martyred. We don't really know. But especially if he did end up getting martyred, or if Jeremiah did end up getting martyred, either way, you have other prophets that were martyred, especially when you read in the book of Acts, and then other prophets that's not really mentioned like that in the Old Testament too, that was martyred. Same with Isaiah. We don't know if he was martyred or not. I speculate he was, but we don't know that for sure. If you don't know much about that, you really wouldn't know for sure, though. That's be up to you to look into it. So I'll just say for you, whether he was or wasn't, especially if he was, it could have seemed like he was Like they shut down his word, but they really never shut it down. It's still here. The scriptures are still here. It's for us to read. You can go and buy a Bible right now, a King James Bible right now, and you're still gonna have all the words in there, the prophecies in this book. You're still gonna have this light, especially when you have it with the complete doctrine of Great Millstone when it comes to Hebrew Israelites teachings, because the Hebrew Israelites teachings are the 100% teachings, specifically Great Millstone. All the other, because you got many groups, so we gotta say it like that. You have other Hebrew Israelite teachings that's off, that's very false, that are the fake ones. But the real ones, which is under GMS, the Great Millstone, Apostle Tahar, who is the one leading that group, this group of Great Millstone that I'm technically consider myself in. Even though I'm just affiliate, I got kicked out of Great Millstone with the other brothers, so don't plan on going back. I'm not gonna have to go back. It's in the spirit that the spirit revealed that to me. That's not gonna happen. So, but I'm technically still under Great Millstone, affiliated of Great Millstone. So, same doctrine. That's the 100% doctrine. And so yeah. So yeah, man, no, that's the 100% doctrine. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. Yeah, so once again, this, I know I'm sounding so repetitive, but and on Salaki, I'm also I was a bit sleepy as I earlier, as coming back from work. Now I'm not really as tired. Spirit. I tried to take a sleep, but I couldn't sleep, so I usually end up just making a video anyway. Then that's how it is. Like if you're sleepy, but then you don't even get to sleep, and then you just get up and yeah. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. Yeah, and this word ain't gonna go out. It's not gonna go out. And once again, like just when you go into the history, when has the wicked, which the wicked was our people, in some cases it was the Edomites. When you get Yahushua, that was this guy, this Grecian king, Edomite king named Herod, I think it was. He issued a decree to kill all the firstborn. So that was in that time, that was in that way him trying to shut down this light to kill. Basically, he was trying to kill Yahushua as before he grew up, but he couldn't shut this word down. So that was another example right there. When you have Moses and the Egyptians tried to kill him, the firstborn, all the firstborn. Ultimately, they probably ended up killing well, actually, no. I think they didn't end up even killing any of the firstborn. I don't know if that's. I'll have to read the story again, but I know that for a fact Moses was one of the firstborns, and he wasn't killed. Yeah, I'll have to look it up again if there was other possible Israelite firstborns that were killed. Maybe that might have been the case with Yahushua as well. But I know for a fact, obviously, we know that if you know the story, we know that Yahushua wasn't killed. Moses wasn't killed, and which was the precursor to Yahushua coming. They were born in the same way, and yeah, you can go deeper with it, and yeah, Yahushua was Yahushua represented the new covenant. That's probably why they had similar births where they wanted to kill them as firstborns, and Moses as well. It was a similar situation. They wanted to kill the firstborn, and that time it was Egypt. And that represented the old covenant, the first covenant. Yahweh Shai the second time, the new covenant. Like, yeah, you can go deeper with it and say, yeah, that's poetic and that's how the Most High did it. But to stick to the topic, but the point is that the light, they weren't able to shut down this light. They weren't able to shut down this light. The darkness wasn't able to override that. And the darkness on another metaphorical level represents anything that comes up against this word, this truth, to shut it down. And then the light is this truth. Now this truth is ultimately in us, and every Israelite in the general sense, but ultimately on this side, not to every single Israelite. Now they have it in them. They're always gonna have the light within them without them even knowing it. Because if you're an Israelite, you're just an Israelite. There's no change in that. You're gonna receive the promises, as we always say. But ultimately, on the elect, this light is in you, and it's not gonna shut down. Even you, your flesh, yourself, represents some of that darkness. That darkness ain't even gonna be able to shut it down. So if that darkness is in you and you can't even shut it down, how much less anything that's outside, an outside force is gonna be able, it won't be able to shut it down. This is kind of a weird example, but just to edify, like, it's like if you were to have like a superpower, and ultimately this truth is, it can get when you're first coming in and you're still new, like 6 years in, 5 years in, even when you're still 6 years in, 5 years in. I'm going on. I'm on 6, I think. I'm already at 6, going into 7 years. Even me, hopefully not to put too much information out there, but even me with this truth, it's, and I'm getting back into what I need to handle in my business, in this walk, in this truth. Ultimately, this truth does go. And I still have to remind myself, it still goes before anything. I'm still and I'm in the process of ultimately not even having to repeat certain bullshit, because once you get to a certain level, you shouldn't have to repeat the same bullshit from your first year, your second year, your third year, so on and so forth. Cutting things off basically as well, with that all in the mix, and cutting things off, and your flesh hates cutting the shit off that is bad for it anyway, and then other shit that you just find like impossible or real difficult, to the point it feels impossible to not do this. I don't not do this shit. I don't want to do this shit. But and like, I'm fucking up in this. I'm messing up with this, and for some, and I hate to say impossible, because nothing's impossible with the Lord, but in the flesh it is, and with yourself it is impossible. And so we pray to the Lord about it. We pray to the Lord about these things, with certain things you yourself may have. I'm just speaking about myself right now. You can probably relate. That we cut off. Like we cut off certain habits. They can be not just. It just could be hatred or envy or emotional outbursts against brothers, or correction from in the video or something like that, or something, man. And you gotta like me talking to myself as well. You gotta make it feel impossible. Once again, you pray to the Lord about it, because it can feel impossible in this wicked flesh we are in, and or just tapping into the spirit more. Maybe that's just what it is, just having to tap into the spirit more, which is just something that I myself am trying to do more of, specifically tapping more into the spirit, and to leave off certain things and other things to I myself am struggling in. I'm just giving an example here as this one. And if I want to be honest, yeah, that's something I do struggle with as well myself. I need to work on better, to do better at, to accept the rebuke when it's in the video. It's not just in when the brother's there, or you just when your brother's not there and you feel some type of way. You were rebuking shit outside from the brotherhood where they're watching, and they're always watching though. The angels are always watching, and spirit is always watching, and that's just something I've been feeling more on. And the spirit rebuking my ass and just exposing my ass out there, and the dirty, filthy rag that I just in, and something I just need to work on better, man. Because it's embarrassing to not change those things. Spirit's pointing you out there like that. But I'm just ranting right now, Salakia. Yeah, the light shines. Yeah. So I'm saying all that to say this, saying all that I just huge as explanation. I just said to say this. You'll hate certain things about. You'll hate difficulty. Your flesh is gonna hate the difficulty of having to cut things out and change, and then out. And then the point on saying that is basically you're gonna learn to love it. You gotta learn to get to the level to where you love that. You love it, because you ain't gonna hate it forever. That's a lie. You ain't going to hate changing for Yahweh Bashman Shah. You ain't gonna hate it, man. At first you may hate it. It just may just be something that other brothers in certain levels, other brothers on other levels takes longer. You get to the level to where you do change your attitude to a more positive attitude of what you're changing, what you're doing, what you're. Yeah, because we gotta hate this world. We do. We really do. We gotta hate this world. We gotta be different. We gotta be separated to the point where even Peter, he was recognized as a disciple of Yahweh Shai, just by seeing it. I don't even know. They just were able to recognize it, man. So they may watch the prophets. They'll recognize if we're one of the prophets by watching us, man. How disciplined, especially through the discipline. Discipline is something that we, as this one quote goes, maybe a brother knows who quoted this quote, but you can't have enough of what you don't want. You can't have enough of what you don't want. And then that backs up with Sirach. No, I think that's Wisdom of Solomon. I think that's Wisdom of Solomon 6:17. It's roughly paraphrasing. I'll get it in a minute. Well, I'll get it now. I think it's Wisdom of Solomon 6. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. So you gotta desire discipline. And now when you're first coming in, and especially if you haven't already been disciplined in the worldly sense, because brothers could have had a strict workout routine, strict diet routine, strict maybe semen retention. Something else I myself gotta work on better at. Semen retention, man. Because there is benefits to it, and I just, it's spirit, because I saw all that. Observed something about that today. I observed me. I like to observe things. I like to observe shit, and that can be that's a two-edged sword. It could work for the better or for the worse. If you ain't really sharpening your tool. What I mean by that is walking in the spirit and righteousness and holiness and discipline. If you ain't in discipline, basically you can't be a philosopher and try to be in the world at the same time. You got to be in one. You can't be trying to speak philosophy and then going to the club every day, or even just once a week. Even eventually that's gonna make you water down your alcohol, so to speak, just in a metaphor and speaking, metaphorically speaking. What's gonna water down your alcohol, or as a better example of that's gonna fade up your garment, I guess, or it's gonna burn out your tires. Basically, it's gonna end up burning out your tires, because that takes energy. That takes you gotta be. It ends up gonna putting you in what you put your spirit into. Your energy into is more of what you're gonna become. So if you're putting your energy more into I want to be doing carnal shit, feeding things, and even your body's example of this. Like, your mind is on the most highest of your head. Your brain is the highest, is the most above. It's above the neck. It's above the shoulders. It's above the heart. It's above the penis, or to the woman, the vagina, the ass. It's above the feet. So when you put your mind into things above, that's gonna put that knowledge and intelligence. You're gonna grow higher and increase higher in the knowledge in your brain and in what your mind is occupied in. When you put your time and energy, effort into your penis, your penis is rehearsing more than your mind. What your physical body may rehearse. Your belly, your stomach, your food is rehearsing more, and your body. That's what's gonna be more increased and show out and show forth power. And Salaki, I want to get dispersed, because I kind of ranted out there. But to make the point, though, it's all right to rant to make a point. This is, as Sahar says, elders constantly tell me. Wisdom of Solomon 6, continue 17 again, because I actually think this is one of the deepest scriptures as well, when you can learn this truth. For the very true beginning of hers is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love, because this scripture proves to you that you got to be disciplined when you come into this truth. You might know, like, yeah, I know you got to be disciplined, but where can you point it out in the scriptures as well? And it's good to also memorize scriptures that's in your spirit to really look deep into, so that when Satan attacks you or your own doubts come to you, you have the scriptures to combat those doubts. 18, and love is the keeping of her laws, and giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto the power. Yep. Because even when you look into us, your semen, and basically when your semen comes out of your body, that even makes you, and according to the law, it does make you unclean. So if we were on the laws, each time you bust a nut, you would have to basically wash all your clothes again, and then wash your whole body again, and then you won't be clean until sundown of that day, same day, or of the next day, if it's already nighttime. It's like, it's kind of like the Lord will be telling you, hey, don't be doing too much of that, because you're gonna have to wash all your clothes again, wash my whole body again, and then have to wait in some outside the camp to become clean fully again, to actually then go back inside the camp. And it reminds me too of like when you go off and you sin, you'll have to sacrifice an animal. Now when you go into animals, back in that time, animals were like your money. So in a way, it's like the Lord's telling us not to sin too much, because then you're not gonna have any food, any food or any animals. Because each time you technically, according to the Old Testament laws, we would have to sacrifice one of our animals, a sheep. It's like the Lord telling you, yep, don't sin too much. You know, you're gonna end up going broke if you sin too much, because you're gonna have to sacrifice the animal. If we were in the Old Testament, but that's still kind of like metaphor, not kind of, but still is like how we can view it today too. Like if we sin too much, go too off, the Lord can make us broke. He can make us unclean. He can make us look like we're supposed to be separated from the community. Yeah, because community just means, I believe it just, yeah, community just means in the group unity is unity, and then community, like it comes together. I don't think it's necessarily goes into ball or anything like that. Maybe more in the modern day term of it, but I don't. Yeah, in general, the use of that word wouldn't necessarily mean that it's ball worship. That's like saying, it's like saying the word house is evil and wicked, because house is usually in the context of niggas or something like that. And to be honest, I have to look into it, but that's just my spirit, what I'm speculating, and I speak so, yeah. Verse 19, and incorruption maketh us near unto the power. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. Come on. It's basically our own darkness, our own flesh can't override the discipline. It won't be able to stop the discipline, because if the Lord wants you to abstain from certain things, He's going to make you abstain from certain things, and it's going to be the Spirit. And this is just from my experience recently. This past week, the Lord made me to get more on to check myself. Basically, I'll just say it like that, to check myself. And it could have been to fast more, or basically activities in the flesh I was on too much on as well, that I just basically, that's what it was, that the Lord taught me through the Spirit, to just check more into. I don't to check more into, because the Lord is going to tell you, do you really want this truth? Do you want to die? Spirit was like, basically, Spirit told me, like, through just discernment, I just discerned, like, I don't want to die. I don't want to not go out to preach this word. So let me get more into this. Let me fucking check my brakes and shit, man, and just examine myself, basically, as the scriptures, as that was quote in the scriptures. Paul says, examine thyself. You can't be too proud. You can't excuse my language, but you can't be like masturbating too much, jacking off too much, like every fucking day after work and shit. And you even miss workouts. You miss workouts. You miss more energy you can have, and the confidence even when you go into it. Because I was looking at that too and observing that too. Like when you just like jack off too much, or like jack off every night, like you ain't gonna have as much confidence, and you're just gonna look more weak, compared to someone that doesn't do that shit all every fucking night or at all. Like you're gonna be able to tell the difference, the confidence in the, and that's even to women too, and the confidence and the even with diets, like your diets, like I for myself, like I have more confident when I'm even with that, which I gotta work on that when the masturbating shit. But as far as with the diet, like I can, and my diet lately been kind of like low, but I'm trying to get up on that again. I actually been doing better this past day. Yeah. Yesterday I had a slip up, and that's a long story, but come on, man. I mean, I'm not. I know I'm just ranting, but just edifying, like serum retention. I gotta get more all into that, like get a bit more into fastings. I gotta get more like into that, like. Lately, I've been catching up a bit. Past couple days, I've been catching up a bit. But yeah, myself, I have to get more on that. Like 6 years, going on 7 years in the faith. I gotta get more like into that, more like Wisdom of Solomon 6. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. Yeah, basically saying there, you want to offend less. If you're actually looking deeper into this verse here, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. Yeah, you don't want to let your sins way heavier than your shadow, because then you're going to be highly tormented. Look at what's going to happen to these Amalekites. Highly tormented. Mercy will soon pardon the meanest. That's like us, the Israelites. Mercy, ultimately, the star of the elect. Mercy will soon pardon the meanest, because, or still the meanest, because we're still going off every now and then to make sure we ain't get too proud. Wisdom of Solomon 6, I'm going to get 12 here. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her, and found of such as seek her. Yeah, and that's going back to discipline once again. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Because you can like kind of like me, like I'm thinking of myself, like you can know a lot of shit, but then not really be applying that stuff, or just being a bit more hard-headed than another brother, than the brother next to you, or when it comes to the certain things. But yeah, wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. So wisdom, discipline never fadeth away. She is easily seen of them that love her. Yeah, you gotta desire discipline. If you're one of those brothers that love discipline, your spirit's gonna hit on you more. It's gonna attach to you more. Like, it's gonna be easy to, because in a way you also attach yourself to discipline, to the Holy Spirit. It's not just one road. Like the Spirit just has to attach to you. You have to also put in work to also have mutual grounds there. It says, and found of such as seek her. Found of such as seek her. Yeah, so you gotta seek her. You gotta seek her. You can't just be out and watching these bullshit on all day. Whatever entertainment shit all day, even if it's just like documentaries all day, you gotta watch the ultimate documentaries, which is this word, this truth of Brother's voice. Hearing the Brother's voice. Because he's going to bring something through the Spirit that's going to go into put the Spirit within you. And once again, if you don't have the discipline, you're not going to receive it so easily as that. As you should be able to. Because Lord has it to where you should be able to, if you're utilizing the right weapons, the right correct armory that of the Spirit that the Lord gave us, the spiritual armory. I'll jump to 15. To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom, and whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. 15 again. To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom. So that's perfect. How do you do that? To think therefore upon her, so you can have because it says is perfection of wisdom. To have the perfect wisdom, you do this by desire and discipline. Moving wisely, and whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. And whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. You gotta be able to once again, whoso watcheth for her. Yeah, it's going same thing as we read earlier up there. That's a perfection of wisdom. It shall quickly be without care. Shall quickly be without care because, and I just your spirit, like certain shit you say in your head, certain shit that you think about in your mind. If it's a wicked thing, if it's something that you know is gonna be wicked, that's because we have a wicked nature within us. It's gonna want to also from years of also going off and getting shit fucked up in this truth. And to speak as myself first and foremost, personally as well, I've thought a lot of negative shit, evil shit against brothers and that shit can be like end up becoming a second nature in the flesh. If you're building up in the flesh or in the spirit type of thing. So to the point now where am I rebuking those things, or am I gonna entertain or open up to those things? So it's up to you. And I found out from today that rebuking those things, understanding as well that that's not me. When those thoughts come, that's not me. That's not what I want to be. And I'd rather think something more correct, more on point. Now, it doesn't mean your personality is gonna, your energy each time is just gonna be raised up, or you're just gonna have it all easily, but the spirit does make it easy. Basically, is what I'm saying. Of you can see it. To those who can perceive it, to perceive what I'm saying. But basically, whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care, because demons open up against you when you sin. It opens the door for you, and that's something that they always taught in the Christian church. Because I myself would know, because I was in Christianity before this for like a whole year straight before the truth. So I still kind of remember certain things that would say that, but that's I pertain it to this truth now with flipping it with the correct proper breath. Like one thing they would say that is actually on point is that when you sin, you open up yourself to demons. Now Satan has an opening, and he can use that for an attack, that to whip your ass. And that attack means that he's going to fuck you up. You're going to get offended now because you just offended the Lord. So it's like the Lord's version of you offended me. I'm a Satan now. He's going to do something to offend you. I think of when Solomon went off, and now he went off. He offended the Lord. He didn't know he offended the Lord when he went off, but he offended the Lord. Even though he might have not known how the Lord might have felt about that when it happened. He might have just knew, I had a thought that, yeah, this offended the Lord, but and he didn't realize when it was going to come, because it was going to come in the Lord's time. The Lord gets us when we don't know, because we're just humans. We can't understand or comprehend the Lord. Like one thing I still can't comprehend or understand is, so I don't try to understand it or comprehend it. I just accept it, is that why is all Israel going to be destroyed? Because when you get in the flesh, and specifically when you get in the flesh, that's when you don't understand. So that's why the angel told Ezra, like, just don't try to understand it, just accept it, just stop trying to save them. This is basically the angel told Ezra. In essence, that's what he was saying when you read into it with that understanding. Because the scriptures also, it ain't just going to give you with an understanding behind what it's saying. It's something that has to be, and this can happen through years of having to read the same scripture, make the same mistakes. And one day, all of a sudden, the Spirit just puts something in you to walk more straight. It's just, oh, Yahweh. But going back to that Solomon, when he went off, then Rehoboam came in and betrayed him, and then the Lord even sent an Edomite, and then when you read into it, it was even another Ishmaelite too. It was three types of enemies, oppositions that ops, as Jake likes to call them in hood terms, that the Lord sent on Solomon to fuck him up. So, yeah. And you can get deeper on a deeper level, and technically Solomon did kind of get fucked up then, because you really don't get away with the Lord with anything. But it was a lighter compared to what Yahweh. He would come back, and when he came back as Yahweh, and his sentence would get and crucifixion. So because he allowed a sin to open within his vessel, the Lord allowed cursings to open up within his life with those three adversaries. He was an Ishmaelite, he was an Edomite, and then it was one of his own people, an Israelite of the northern tribes, Ephraimite to be specific, of the northern tribes against Solomon. And that was even somebody who he was close with, who he was it was one of his most loyal servants he really liked, so the Lord sent him to even come against him. So it's just something to show you that you don't want to fuck up with the Lord, because he can fuck you up with that type of. And that's just how austere it is, how real it is, man. So it's like you, when you're now apply that to you in your everyday life. If you go off, if you fuck up, well, don't get offended now when the Lord sends something, a omen, nomen, a bad omen, a bad nomen on you. It's just the Lord speaks in signs, and the scripture says it's like measures and signs and wonders and made manifest. The Lord speaks in signs, man. That's why I like to say, don't just walk outside just to walk, observe things. You gotta observe every little thing. What can this little thing mean? What can that mean? What can this mean? If I'm getting pissed off at this, if I'm always doing this, what can this mean? And I pray to the Lord about it. Like, I'm always doing this, or I'm always fucking up in this. Show me how I'm always fucking up in this. Like, I'm always doing this. I don't even know this. I need you to repeat things to me 15 times so I can fucking get it, man. Like on verse 20, therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. I'm gonna jump up to verse 18. We read verse 7. Actually 17 again. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. And that's love right there, the care for discipline. Because when you're undisciplined, I think of a woman, because a woman's the best example, because a woman is the most careless being. If she's not right, if she's not on point, if she is, especially if she's wicked and not right, not on point. A woman can be the most careless being, creature. So when you have like a whore who doesn't have her, or even just a dude, even as an example, who's not on point, he doesn't have his shit together. I mean, it's nobody really wants to be around him, and then that's why they get secluded. They become alone, and then got demons on them, and then they go and do drugs, and then commit crimes, and end up possibly killing somebody or killing themselves. That's really how demons end up getting in people. This is 18, and love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Read that one already, but just in case, because repetition is key. It says, love is the keeping of her laws. That means you ain't gonna commit adultery, because you can be so undisciplined, you end up committing adultery, doing freaky shit that's not even sexually, that because you're that undisciplined. You're just thinking that much wicked, undisciplined shit. Especially if you're chosen. It says, and the given heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto the power. Yeah, you're a clean blessed vessel, so you have to have a clean vessel. You gotta have clean thoughts. And now we're not gonna. It doesn't mean that you ignore your thoughts. You don't want to ignore your thoughts if it's a wicked thought. It means that you as I said earlier, you recognize that that's not me. That's not my thoughts. That's not something I want to entertain or show the Lord. So I'm gonna. That's the mindset you have, and you act out on that with that philosophy there. 20. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom, and this is gonna bring to a kingdom. So that's the point on that, and then I had this other scripture that just going into the humility and on a deeper level. This is really one of the coldest scriptures because it just teaches you discipline. It teaches you. Well, yeah, discipline goes hand in hand with it. Particularly, this is going into humility, like humbleness, and this is coming from like Yahweh Shai here. When you think about it, Yahweh Shai washed his disciples' feet, and technically speaking, he knew he was doing that, knowing that his disciples was gonna betray him, or all of them leave him, and ultimately they didn't betray him because they still stick to Yahweh Shai. The only one who betrayed him was Judas. And yeah, we can go deeper with it and even say, with Peter, like, technically Peter really didn't deny Yahweh Shai because eventually he would end up getting martyred for Yahweh Shai. So technically speaking, did he really deny Yahweh Shai? And that's the type of redemption story that's gonna be on each of the elect. Like, you could do some wicked shit that's off, but in the end, when it's all, if you're allowed to, for the Lord to put you in that position or to redeem yourself, are you really gonna end up being able to say you fully denied Trice Yahweh Shai or not? This is Luke 22 in verse, the subheading is the argument about greatness. And if I'm not mistaken, this is right when this was the Passover. This was on the Passover nights. I believe they were in the midst of eating the Passover. The house already gave the command to drink his blood, eat his flesh, the bread, the wine, representing that which ultimately represents the afflictions. We continue reading. It says the argument about greatness. Luke 22:24. An argument broke out among the disciples as to which one of them should be thought as the greatest. Yahushua said to them, the kings of the pagans have power over their people, and the rulers claim the title friends of the people. The kings of the pagans have power over the people, and the rulers claim the title friends of the people. Now, because when you go into kings, and you have the titles like Caesar, which means of the people, or other titles that would mean like the people's savior or some shit like that. And sometimes when you go earlier, they had titles like Soter, which means is Greek for saying savior. That's basically each king would have had that, especially the Romans and the Greeks. They would have had supreme titles like this. But Yahushua says here, basically, this is not how you guys are going to have to carry yourselves. And that's a humble way of putting that philosophy in together. The kings of the pagans had power over the people, Yeah, us as prophets, we're not gonna. Yahushua's disciples basically, he's saying we're not gonna have power over the people, and that's a good thing. That's a humble thing. Yahushua himself didn't have power over the people. He was just he was his job was to teach, and then after teaching to stay out of wickedness, out of sin, out of pride. The kings of the pagans have power over their people, and the rulers claim the title friends of the people. But this is not the way it is with you. Rather, the greatest one among you must be like the youngest, and the leader must be like the servant. 27. Who is greater? The one who sits down to eat, or the one who serves? The one who sits down, of course, but I am among you as the one who serves. You have stayed with me all through my trials, and just as my Father has given me the right to rule, so I will give you the same right. 30. You will eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and you will sit on thrones to rule over the 12 tribes of Israel. Yashar Allah. Khan. Because, yeah, eventually we're going to rule. Yeah, eventually we're going to, if we're up to 12, we're going to sit on a higher echelon. So, if you are of the 12, that means you got to be even more fucking humble. You're even going to have to be, you could be on a level to where, yeah, you might have been this greater dude in the past life. That doesn't mean shit. Now you have to serve. You have to take rebuke, even when, yeah, you have to take rebuke. You have to. You may not end up getting as much views as this brother in this video here, and that it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's possible for certain brothers. Lots. That's how it's gonna happen. And then the Lord can have you can be weak in the spirit to where you're wrestling with the spirit of envy, spirit of jealousy. Because I know me myself, and that's why you also gotta know yourself. Myself, I always had the spirit of kind of like jealousy or envy. That's always been me. Even as a little baby, I remember even hurting my cousin because I was envious at him. I was young and I was like what maybe 4, and he was even younger than me. I might have been 5, and he was even like 3. And that shit happens, man. You can envy. Your thorn in your flesh may be that as I know that's mine. Your thorn in your flesh may be something else. It may be your thorn in your flesh may be wanting to get a better workout than the brother. I don't know what the thorn in your flesh may be. It may be you want. You might not envy your brother, but you might want. I don't know what you call it. That would be envy, basically. You want more money than this brother if he makes that money. We all have thorns in the flesh. We all have thorns in our flesh, but Yahweh says it right here. Just going back to this. Yeah, who's greater? Who's the greatest? The one that's gonna be serving, the one that's basically serving everybody. And it's very powerful because when you read this is Yahweh Shai saying this to his disciples as he's, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, soon after this he washes his disciples' feet. And that represented basically what he was saying here, what he was preaching. He was what he was preaching. He was, and if we're honest, we can be. Let's be honest. Yahushua made it look easy. In a way, he kind of made it look easy. Teaching every day in the temple, he made it look easy. I'm sure it was hard, but he made it look, and it's gonna be hard for us. But you can make it look easy by just going back to the earlier verse I brought out. Wisdom of Solomon 6:17. The desire, discipline, and care for her. It's love, meaning the keeping of discipline, keeping the desire for discipline. That's what love is. How Shai represented that. He embodied that. So when we do that, we're basically in the spirit of I'm about my Father's business, but we do this in for the truth, for in terms of for the truth. Other people who do this, they may do this in terms of that's of the world, co-workers, family members, friends, and it's they do this for they don't do this for with truth. They're not they weren't allowed that gift. They weren't allowed this gift, this opportunity, this blessing to do this for with the truth. So saying all that, making that point to say this, and I think I might have forgot it already. We're disciplined in our Father's business, in the sake of for our Father. You're not doing it for. I'm doing this for of the sake of my own health, have a better body, to just live longer, just for myself, for my kids, for my woman. And those are benefits, but we ultimately do this for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh, man. So once again, the greatest one is the one who serves. Once again, everyone, you gotta feel like you're serving this brother, because it's also, when I thought of this, it's beautiful that how Yahushua made this, and the Father put it in Yahushua for to word it this way, because when you think about it like that, like, I'm here to serve everybody, even for those that's outside of this truth, because for me, they may be able to, even if it doesn't like convert them, because it may just not be given to them on this side, it's still going to like show them that how we are, how we walk, how we move, and that in itself is gonna bless, even though it may not wake him up. The Lord will still bless you in the way of how you're representing Him, and it's in the deeper level. They're still gonna come back in the kingdom, remembering how you handle your business on this side. How did you handle your business on this side? And that's to myself as well, man. It's because I myself have certain things I gotta work on in. Can't be addicted to porn and snake ass Israelite / Edomite woman out here. That's gonna hinder your faith. Work out, get on your health, take cold showers. Get good sleep, build your routine, have your prayer routine, your reading routine. Just offend less, Okay, keep in that mindset, offending less. I'm gonna actually change things and do less offensive shit against the eyes of the Lord. And have that all that I just said there, right there, on point, and you'll be on point, man. You'll be on point. You'll be on the right road to glory. Like a song from I don't know, this is nigga shit, but like the song from Tupac is Road to Glory. It was an unreleased song. Pretty good song if you're into rap and what not the rough street lyrics he was bringing out in that time. Road to Glory. And Jake can get all hyped up and listen to the song, but you gotta act out on your first, really actually act out on, like, just moving as you know you're flawed, and you gotta have your head down until you get things correct. Then the Lord will lift you up some way, somehow, and in His time, He will lift you up. He'll get you out of situations, out of the same situations you've been in. You don't want mistakes you don't want to repeat. Yahweh Bashim will get you out of that. If you show Him you want it to be, you're on your best as putting on of the elect. And with this is the point. Lord willing, Shalom. Hopefully this is an exhortation, edification, lesson. Till next time, Lord, as well. Shalom.